Sam is 32 years old, works as a freelance artist in Berlin, and has never made more than $45,000 a year. He doesn't have a fancy job or rich parents. But last year, he bought his first home, completely debt-free. People always ask him, how do you save so much money? His answer? I don't follow a strict budget. I still eat out. I just do things a little differently. Sam's story may sound unusual, but he's not alone. Around the world, there are people with average incomes who always seem to have money. They don't skip coffee. They don't hoard coupons. And no, they don't just have more willpower. They've built strange but powerful habits. Habits that most people never think about. In this video, we'll look at 7 surprising habits of people who always save money, even during hard times like inflation, rising rent, or job changes. These aren't your typical make-a-budget tips. They're modern and based on real psychology and new trends in how people manage money in 2025. If you've ever said, I want to save, but I just can't, this video might change the way you think and spend. Habit 1. They romanticize low-spend living, not minimalism. Layla is 29 and lives in New York City. She works in marketing and loves beauty, books, and fashion. But here's the twist. She's not constantly shopping. In fact, she shares something called Slow Spend Sundays on Instagram. No shopping, no online browsing, no spending at all. Instead, she makes her own skincare, reads old books, and cooks pasta from scratch. It feels peaceful, she says. Like I'm choosing to slow down. Layla doesn't follow minimalism. She's not trying to own only 30 things. Instead, she finds joy in spending less. Not because she has to, but because she wants to. She's made saving feel like self-care. This is called romanticizing low-spend living, turning simple, cheap moments into something beautiful. More young people are doing it now, especially as prices go up and social media shows off quiet luxury and soft living instead of flashy brands. In 2023, researchers from the University of Exeter found that people who link saving with positive feelings are 40% more likely to stick to their financial goals. Saving doesn't have to feel boring or painful. For people like Layla, spending less is a vibe, cozy, calm, and deeply rewarding. Choose one day a week to enjoy a no-spend ritual. Light a candle, wear something comfy, and romanticize your free time. The goal isn't perfection, it's peace. Habit 2. They use private price tracking communities. Diego is 35 and lives in Lisbon. He rarely pays full price for anything, not his new laptop, not his winter coat, and not even his recent vacation to Italy. His secret? A small, private group chat with 15 friends who track prices together. They share deals, price drops, and sales they find online. One person watches tech, another follows flight prices, and someone else checks clothing discounts. It's like a money-saving team built on trust. These groups are growing fast. In 2024, more people started using private Discord, Telegram, or Slack groups to track prices with close friends. It's more reliable than random websites because you know the people. There's no spam, and everyone helps each other save. Unlike big coupon sites or public forums, these groups are personal, fast, and often local. They've helped Diego save hundreds of euros without cutting back on things he loves. Start a small chat group with a few trusted friends or family members. Pick a few items you all care about, like flights, electronics, or groceries, and share deals regularly. Saving becomes easier and more fun when you do it together. Habit 3. They view spending as a time trade. Amara is a 42-year-old nurse and single mom living in Canada. She works long hours and takes care of 2 kids. Before she buys anything, even something small, she asks herself one question. How many hours of my life is this really worth? So when she sees a $100 pair of shoes, she doesn't just think about the price. She thinks, that's about 5 hours of work after taxes. Sometimes, that makes her realize it's not worth it. This way of thinking changes everything. It makes money feel real. It helps people focus on what matters most, their time. This idea isn't new. A book called Your Money or Your Life shared this mindset back in the 1990s. But in 2025, many young people are bringing it back. People now talk about life hour math, turning money into time. A recent study from the University of Chicago in 2023 found that people who think this way are 65% less likely to make impulse purchases. Before your next purchase, take a moment and ask yourself, how many hours do I need to work for this? You may find you don't want it after all. Money comes and goes, but your time? That's one thing you never get back. Habit 4. They use ghost accounts. Kumar is 31 and works as a school teacher in Mumbai. He's not a high earner, but he's already saved enough for a down payment on a home. His secret? A ghost account. What's that? It's a bank account that he never checks, never uses for bills, and doesn't connect to any app or card. It's out of sight, and that's the whole point. I forget it exists, he laughs. And that's why it works. This trick is called artificial scarcity. When the money isn't visible, you don't think about it. You don't spend it. Behavioral scientists say this method helps people save without needing willpower. Apps like Digit and Plum now offer features that hide savings or move small amounts of money into invisible digital vaults automatically. It feels like your money disappears, but it's actually growing quietly in the background. Open a savings account at a completely different bank. Don't get a debit card or app for it. Set up automatic transfers of just $5 or $10 a week. Over time, you'll build savings without even noticing. And one day, you'll check that ghost account and smile. Habit 5. They delay joy, but time it strategically. Jonas is 27 and works remotely from Sweden. Like many people, he sees ads every day for clothes, gadgets, and online deals. But instead of buying things right away, he saves them to a note on his phone called the 24-hour wish list. Whenever he wants something, he writes it down but waits at least 24 hours before deciding. Most of the time, Jonas says, I don't even want it after a day or two. But here's what makes it smart. Once a month, he picks one item from the list and rewards himself guilt-free. It feels exciting, but he stays in control. This habit works because the brain actually enjoys the anticipation more than the purchase itself. It's not about never spending. It's about timing your joy. Start your own 24-hour wish list. Let your brain sit with the idea before spending. At the end of the month, choose one item as a reward within your budget. Saving money doesn't mean saying no forever. It just means saying not yet. Habit 6. They treat money like a game. Tyrell is 40 and works as a graphic designer in Los Angeles. He doesn't use a boring spreadsheet to track his money. Instead, he turned his finances into a game. Every dollar I save is like gaining points, he says. Every time I spend on something I don't need, I lose points. He made his own money game using Excel. Saving goals are like missions. Paying off debt is a level up. Watching his progress keeps him motivated. More people are doing the same. New apps like Yada, Fortune City, and Long Game turn saving into fun challenges, with rewards, streaks, and even prizes. Why does this work? Because games give your brain instant feedback and make boring tasks feel exciting. Experts in behavioral psychology say gamifying your goals makes you more likely to stick with them. When saving feels like a game, it becomes fun, not frustrating. And the best part? You win real money, not just points. Habit 7. They learn from strangers' regrets. Fatima is 38 and runs a small business in the UAE. She didn't grow up learning much about money, but today, she's a strong saver, and a lot of that came from reading other people's money mistakes online. I spend 10 minutes a week on Reddit, she says. I read stories from people who say, I wish I saved earlier, or I regret buying that car. It's like a wake-up call. This habit is called vicarious learning, learning by watching or reading about someone else's experience. It's powerful because it helps you avoid pain before it happens. In 2024, this trend grew online. People share their real stories about debt, bad investments, and impulse spending. These honest regrets teach lessons that feel personal, even if you don't know the person. Psychologists say when we see someone suffer from a mistake, our brain reacts emotionally, and that helps the lesson stick. Once a week, read a few real stories about financial regrets. Search Reddit threads like money mistakes or personal finance. Don't judge, just learn. Sometimes, the best way to save money is to learn what not to do. People who always save money think differently. These habits may seem small, but they add up to big results. So, which one will you try first? Share in the comments below. Saving money isn't about saying no all the time. It's about saying yes to a better future, one smart choice at a time. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.